Detroit automakers back on Capitol Hill asking the House Financial Services Committee for help to survive. The auto executives tried to make their case for the proposed $25 billion bailout yesterday in the Senate, but Republican Senator Richard Shelby made sure that his position against the bailout was abundantly clear.
I'm concerned that once again we're about to employ the ready, fire, aim approach to problem solving. Is $25 billion a lot of money to me? Is that enough? Is this the end or just the beginning? Will it be used to improve their business model, which has been a failure, and product lines, or is this just life support?
Senator Shelby joins us now from Capitol Hill. Senator, welcome. Thank you very much. Let me just push back a bit, play devil's advocate here against those who might say that you are representing the interests of the auto manufacturers in your state of Alabama, which are foreign manufacturers like Toyota, against the big three from Detroit.
Well, that's not true at all. First of all, we do have a viable automobile sector in the South, not just Alabama, that they're making money. They run good operations. They're building good products, and I'm proud of that. 114,000, I believe, workers. But that doesn't bother me as far as this is concerned. None of them have contacted me. I believe it's a mistake for the government to choose sides, to choose some companies one over the other. As a young congressman up here, I voted against the Chrysler bailout in 1979. I thought it was a government interference in the marketplace. They did pay the money back, but I can tell you General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford have already failed. Their management has failed. And then they fly in here yesterday in an arrogant way, I thought, asking for money. Some of them made $28 million, I believe, last year doing a failure's job. In other words, it was a job that was failure. I believe that there's a way to save these companies. But for a company to be viable for very long, they've got to be efficient. They've got to be well managed. They've got to have a good product that people will buy. And that's questionable with these companies today. And I believe they can get turned around if they go through Chapter 11 in a stripped down way that they can become lean and hungry. A blood transfusion, money sent to them, $25 billion, $50 billion, and be $100 billion, will not work. It will just prolong the inevitable. This, they say they want a bridge loan. This is a bridge loan, to nowhere. Make sure that you look at it closely.
Well, House Financial Services Chairman Barney Franks today raised the question of why did the financial services industry get money and not the auto industry, the auto workers. Let me play this for you and ask you to respond on the other side.
Okay.
Why was it so acceptable to do that for the financial industry? That is, respond to the need to avoid macroeconomic harm by helping the financial industry, but doing it to a blue-collar manufacturing industry is somehow not right, and we have to look at the wage scale, etc. And that's the issue that I think the country has to more honestly confront than we have done.
And your answer to Barney Frank is?
Well, he raises a good question, but for the record, I want to state I oppose the bailout of the banks, and what we're trying to now find out who benefited from this bailout. Obviously, the American people haven't benefited yet. A lot of banks, a lot of insurance companies have benefited, but we need to have an accounting of where this money is being spent, and I think the bailout of the cars would just be another bad example of a road we shouldn't go down.
So what should be done? I mean, we're hearing from Harry Reid that this thing is not likely to fly. The administration is going to have to do something for GM in the next couple of weeks until the new administration can come in and come up with a long-term plan. We understand that the president-elect believes there has to be some sacrifice by the executives, by the unions, by the stockholders. But that's long-term. What are you going to do in the immediate future? Is Chapter 11 the only option?
Well, I think that is a good option for him. A lot of people, economists that have studied this, believe that's the real option. One, you'd get rid of all the management, and they ought to go. They had the gall to come here yesterday to ask for money, coming in corporate jets after making millions and millions of dollars and begging for money. That's horrible. Secondly, Chapter 11 would enable them to continue in business, and they would be lean. That's the only way I believe they will survive.
Do Do you think that people would buy GM cars if they had no guarantee that there would be parts, any kind of servicing over the next couple of years? The customers are drying up.
Well, their customers are drying up anyway, Andrea. They had 50%. GM had about 50% of the marketplace, and look at it today. I remember when their stock was $100 a share. What is it, $2 or $3, whatever it is today, if that. They're drying up. They're failed. It's a question, do we bring something forth? Can they do it? I don't believe the government's role is to do it for them, not private companies.
While I have you here, Senator, let me ask you, if it comes to a vote on the floor, Eric Holder, would you vote for his confirmation as Attorney General based on what you know now?
I know Mr. Holder. We would have to see what comes out in the hearing process. He would have to go before the Judiciary Committee that I'm not a member of, but we would like to go through the confirmation process. But I would think that there's a strong presumption he would be confirmed.
And what about Tom Daschle for HHS, which we've also confirmed is about to happen?
Well, Tom Daschle's an old colleague of mine from the House and friend. I think he'd have no trouble.
Okay. Any hint as to what Hillary Clinton's going to do?
I don't know. That's very
interesting.
Very interesting development there. I don't know how, I guess you could always say no, but you throw something out like that and you let the world know that Hillary Clinton, Senator Clinton's being considered. That's big news and a lot of talk. I think she'd make a good Secretary of State for President Obama, but that's his decision. We'll have to wait.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
nice
Andrea.
to see you, Senator.